Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For everyone else, welcome back. It is January 1st, and I have started my first book of the year. Right now, it looks like just a blue cover. I am reading out Brandon Sanderson's Defiant. This is the fourth and final book in the Skyward series, but when this book, or he's still writing in the Cytoverse, and there will be more books for, the universe will continue in Skyward Legacy. This one we are with Spensa and her. I'm trying to do this mostly without spoilers. We are with Spensa and her world, and they are under attack by the superiority. Basically right where we left, it picks up just about where we left off at the end of Cytonic. And in this one, we kind of see relationships change, and mainly we're seeing Spensa's point of view toward herself change the most, it seems. She believes one thing, everyone around her is telling her, no, that's not how we see you. But she is very much using what she feels about herself to continue on. And to try to make life better for those around her. Spensa is heavily influenced in her thoughts by Sun Tzu and the other Earth epic writers. And so because of that, she's looking at life a little bit differently. Or looking at her survival differently. But I'm having a good time so far. We're seeing lots of characters that we know and love. And we're dealing some with heartbreak from characters who aren't there anymore for one reason or another. So I am going to keep going. I've read the first 4 chapters throughout the day. It's been kind of lack of focus on my part. But I am going to keep going, and hopefully in the next hour or so, I will get a 50, 60 pages done so that I feel like I have accomplished something today. But we will have to see. Hello everyone. So I am now a third of the way through. We're not even going to talk about the fact that I read maybe 20 pages yesterday. And that I'm struggling keeping focus today. But we are now done with the first third of this book. And I am having so much fun. We just hit another place in here. You can see where I'm at. Of reuniting with some friends. And seeing how some friends respond to some other friends is quite interesting. But sorry. I'm really enjoying this, and I love how Sanderson is doing this. This one's a little more romance heavy than some of his others, or I should say, that's not quite right. This one has more defined romance scenes than I've seen in some of his others. And so it's kind of interesting to see that work its way in. And how these young adults are dealing with some of their feelings. But overall, I am having a great time. I love the writing style here. So I am going to get back to it and try to get a good chunk done today. I'm pretty much ready for tomorrow. So I don't have to worry too much on that front. So I'm going to enjoy some reading for the next couple of hours, and then I'm going to make some dinner. So I will check in later. Hello everyone. So I am now 2/3 through Defiant, or helps if I put the bookmark the right way. I am really enjoying this, and I'm excited to finish it. I want to know what's gonna happen. Currently, Spencer's starting to figure some things out, but doesn't really have a way to share that knowledge right now. And so it's kind of this interesting balancing game for her, and trying to be with her friends, but still she's trying to deal with some of the repercussions of her and the choices that she's made, along with figuring out some of the other characters' points of view and how they see things different from her. So it's been a lot of fun, but I am gonna jump back in because I definitely want to take advantage of my about 30 minutes I have to read now and find out what Spencer is gonna do next. Hello everyone. Oh, I just threw the book over here. I have just finished Defiant. I totally loved, sorry, I've got hair in my camera. I totally loved this book. Just like many of Sanderson's books, I don't read the first about half of the book as fast as I do the second half of the book. There is definitely a Sanderlanche in this. Everything happens there at the end, and it's just back-to-back fun. But yeah, this was amazing. I was gushing to my sister over a lot of this. There was a comment that both she and I really loved, in reference to the slugs. And then, the way Sanderson ended this part of the series just was really great. This is the fourth and final of the Skyward series, but Skyward Legacies will be a continuation of this world. Kind of, I guess, think Mistborn Era 1 and Mistborn Era 2. though possibly without the huge time jump. I really enjoyed this and had an awesome time. I'm feeling a little high right now, because this is now 2 5 stars in a row, and I am a little concerned of my next read. I am going to jump right into Gray Sister. I have about 25 minutes before I go to bed tonight. So I do want to get started on that one. For this one, I do have the book along with the audio, so I'm going to follow along as I read in hopes of that being something that helps me to stay better focused in the book and enjoy the book more. I did struggle with Red Sister, so we'll see. So I don't know, maybe it's the narrator or just not having the book in front of me with Red Sister. So I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to start this one and keep reading for a little bit longer tonight, and go from there. Gray Sister is still following Nona, Sister Nona, and she is trying to choose which order she will follow. So I'm going to jump in and see where Mark Lawrence takes me in this book. Hello everyone. So I am a third of the way through Gray Sister. I am seeming to enjoy it more than I did Red Sister, but I also am very closely following along in the book as I'm listening to the audiobook. There have been a couple times where I've my thoughts have wandered, and I've had to pause and go back and reread. So I think at least for this series and this narrator, that's what I'm going to have to do. Unfortunately, it means that I can't do other things while listening to the audiobook, but it is what it is. So, I am going to keep reading for a little bit today before I have to pause. But I'm really enjoying this one. It's interesting to see. First off, there's a huge time jump. There's a 2-year time jump. And so when you start there, you're kind of confused, but you quickly figure out characters, new characters. And Mark Lawrence was really great at the first of the book. He puts a a recap of Red Sister, along with like who certain characters are, and some of these characters who are new, that you don't really know where they came from. And he's like, this is part of it. No, you don't know this person, and it's fine. But right now, we have Nona Gray, and she is preparing for her first trial that she has to do if she wants to become a Gray Sister. It sounds like they all try these trials, regardless of if they want to be in that order. Because there's been several times that Nona has said she's a Red Sister through and through, and yet she's taking these Gray Sister trials. And even several of the nuns who are there are looking at these trials knowing that she's not going to pass them. So just kind of an interesting, some interesting differences, or interesting tidbits that I am seeing. And I am really enjoying the Quixote character. He makes me giggle with his bloodthirstiness. So I'm gonna get back into it and figure out where this story is gonna keep going and how Nona Gray is going to do in this first trial. Hello everyone, so I have made it 2/3 of the way through Grey Sister. I am enjoying this one a lot more than I did Red Sister. I'm following the plot a lot better, even during those times when I'm right now I'm finishing my genre blanket. So I'm able to follow a lot better this time than I did with Red Sister, and I'm really enjoying kind of seeing these politics kind of creep their way in. It's very interesting to see how Lawrence is building this world and how the ice is changing things. So I'm gonna get back to it and keep going, and I will check in at the end of the book. Hello everyone, so I have finished Grey Sister. I think I have figured out what I liked with Grey Sister better than Red Sister, and that is the character Quixote. He's just this funny little secondary character that really pushes Nona and helps her to kind of realize what she stands for. There were several times that his little tirades reminded me of Mbot from the Skyward series. So it was a lot of fun to kind of see that and to hear him just go on and a fuss at Nona for doing things he didn't like. But now that that is finished, that leaves me to there's one more book in this series, which is Holy Sister. I don't currently have that one. Everything is open again tomorrow after all the storms we had today, and so I should be able to get it, although I don't think I'm gonna read it right away. I was thinking about doing The Girl and the Stars, which is the second series that takes place in the same world as Grey Sister, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that one just a little bit, partly because I'm having a hard time getting my hands on it without ordering it from online, but also I'm worried that I'm gonna get events mixed up between the book of the Ancestor and this other series. So I'm gonna hold off on that right now, and I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm gonna read next. See what else on my list is fantasy or sci-fi, but I will check in once I figure out what I'm going to read next. Hello everyone. So since I chose to hold off on reading A Girl in the Stars, I kind of was at a loss of what to read next. I didn't want to start Holy Sister yet. And so I looked through what I had. And on my NetGalley list, I had The Book of Doors, by Gareth Brown. This comes out in mid-February. And so this is a great one for me to go on ahead and read and put out my review before the year, or before it's published, to try to help this author and the publisher to get the word out. This one, the reason I picked this one had to do with the description. It is a debut novel, and it says that it's for those readers who liked The Midnight Library, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, The Night Circus, and all three of those were just really great reads for me. I enjoyed them a lot. And so I requested this one and was selected as an e-ARC reader for it. So this one is following Cassie Andrews. She works in a New York City bookshop. She shelves books, makes coffee for the customers, and overall seems to live a very ordinary life until one of her favorite customers dies in front of her. Of course, seeing this and it being a well-loved customer, it devastates her, and she's always loved the stories that he's told while he's in there, and now she doesn't have anything really to remember him by. Nothing, that is, except for the last book he was reading, and it's The Book of Doors. And this one, she finds out that there's this whole library of these books that have great power. And so now she is now being hunted by those who want this particular book. This is one of the most coveted books for this secret power book, of the secret power books. And so she is going to have this adventure of trying to protect this one book. So this is a fantasy, and my goal for this vlog was to get all of my science fiction and my fantasies read for January. And so I'm going to start this one. It says it's 400 pages, and that shouldn't be a problem for me to read, especially if it seems as action-packed as it is. According to Storygraph, it is a medium-paced book. I don't know if that will necessarily hold true for me, but it is mysterious and adventurous are the top two moods that Storygraph has. So I am going to jump into this and see how things go, and I'll check in about the 1/3 mark. Hello everyone, so I am a third of the way through The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. I'm really enjoying this one. It's got an interesting feel to it. I definitely see the Midnight Library references, and even the Lost Apothecary. There is one book that I read last year. I'm going to have to figure out what book it was. That this one actually reminds me of more. Oh, Mr. Pinbrook's 24-hour bookstore. That's the one it reminds me of. Because it's just basically about a library of magical books. Really cool premise. And it really drew me in right from the beginning. The biggest kind of downfall for me, I guess you'd say, is that life is happening around me. And so I'm not being able to spend as much time reading right now. And I'm just kind of hanging in there. So I'm going to keep reading and I will check in later. Hello everyone. So I am 2/3 of the way through Book of Doors now. And Cassie has just had to go the long way around. For those of you who know Doctor Who, you'll understand that. And I am totally in love with this book. I am, like I said, getting some Doctor Who vibes from it as we're going through different things. It's kind of neat, though, the way that everything works together. So I am having a great time with it still, and definitely think that this is going to be one of those that I recommend to a lot of people just because of how fun it has been. I might even go and buy a physical copy when it's released. Yeah, I am totally enjoying this one. I love the characters. The writing is great. So lots of fun in it. It is, to me, very plot driven, less character driven. And everything is constantly moving, constantly in flux. You'll read 1 or 2 chapters in one spot, and then if there's a lot of time between events, there is a time jump. And Gareth Brooks Brown, the author, is amazing at pushing us through and keeping the reader's attention in the book. So I am going to finish this up and then I will check in a little bit. Hello everyone. I have just finished The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. This was such a fun book to read. When I got to the acknowledgments, Gareth Brown is thanking his agent who kind of led him in the direction of this particular book. And on his editorial, or on the first draft, he's just like, more wonder, add more wonder, where's the sense of wonder? And it's very obvious that Gareth Brown took that advice and really added it to this title. I really loved how this book comes full circle. It's really neat to see the different perspectives of Cassie as she goes through the book and the growth that she has. So definitely, if you liked the Midnight Library, this one really plays with that same idea. And the other two books, like the writing style kind of matched that of The Lost Apothecary and Night Circus, but it really, to me, felt more like reading Midnight Library or even Mr. Penumbrum's 24-hour bookstore. It's got those themes, I guess, more in them, and that's kind of what I as a not PR person would compare this book to. So there we have it. My first 3 books of 2024 are completed, and I am not exactly 100% sure which direction I'm going to go next. I am leaning in one way, but that is all my sci-fi and fantasies for the month. So we'll see where my reading takes me next. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.